Cass, wait a minute, there's a connection here. And once I seen the connection, I then had to explain. And this year was actually the first year that I actually broke down and spoke about what happened at Mitch's house. Sometimes twice a week. For years, I would have to go over here. And the woman that took me, she was very bitter and angry, and she did so much just evil, despicable things to me out of jealousy or animosity because maybe she wasn't the woman she wanted to be and make them. For whatever reason, I don't know why she was like she was. I never got that far into it, but I know the things that she did to me was just pure evilness. But it wasn't until this past year that I broke down and I told my boyfriend like everything that really transpired. And it was very, I mean, I think I cried for like 3 days straight, just crying and crying and crying. I mean, just tears, I mean, literally, like it was a pool of water. Just for days, I just cried and I cried and I cried. And it wasn't until I spoke, and that very first time I spoke was like it released the biggest thing in my life, like the biggest pain, heartache, like anything that you can imagine. It just, oh my God, it was such a burden was just off of my shoulders. I never ever imagined that this is why I was having these coughing spells. I had been having these coughing spells for years. So, that's just a little bit about my story, but I'll go more in depth. I'll spend, some time talking about, what transpired in my life that got me to the point where I was kidnapped and whatnot. But man, that's why speaking out and speaking about something that really, really has afflicted you. That's the only way that you're going to release that weight that's laying on you. Whether it's preventing you from doing it is whatever you're holding on to, it is definitely preventing you from moving forward in something in your life. And you always, always want to be in truth. You always want to be your your authentic self. You cannot be anyone else but you. But don't try to cover up or hide something you know, that has created shame. Whoever did it to you or whatever happened, that's not yours to carry. That's not your shame. You don't have anything to be ashamed about. Whatever your preference is, whatever you like, whatever you don't, whatever's hurt you, whatever that has to do with any type of sexual um, abuse or exploitation, let it go. Speak about it. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. You know, there is strength in numbers. When one person stands up and you feel safe and not judged, you feel comfortable. So the best thing you can do is speak about it, release it, and let it go. Or work through it and so you can heal, so you don't have to carry this. It doesn't belong to you. In a safe place, whether, whomever. That's what I hope to achieve through this podcast. I just hope to achieve people to be able to have a place of safety so they can come and lay all of their baggage, whether it's the burdens from the pain or their fetishes or being deviant or addictions, whatever it is, bring it here. Speak about it. Talk about it. You don't have to give me your name. You don't have to say anything. But I just want people to get better. In all people, the perpetrators, the victim, the survivors. We cannot move into a better world and a better place with the same level of thinking that has created this chaos. And the world is ruled by sexual abuse. Like literally almost every male and female inmate in jails and institutions have been sexually abused or been exploited or been exposed to it. Almost all of them. There's like one in three girls, and I'll get into the whole. I have the database from the Interpol, and that's just online database that I'm going to go into in the next podcast. That's how I really wanted to start, but I kind of wanted to start a little bit different, not just about facts and percents and all that. I just wanted to be like, this is what I aim in to achieve from this podcast. I want to see people move forward in their life, all people. I, I'm not discriminating. We shouldn't discriminate because we all have to learn to accept one another the way that we are. And we may not agree. We may agree to disagree. But whatever a person speaks, we might be that person to have a place for them to come to and speak. And then their illness or their disease or their addiction, it loses its power. So in order for something to lose its power, we got to have a safe place to come to. So we want people to be like, hey, I can go here and I can lay this here, right? And whatever has been holding them down, it'll lose its power. And the more you speak, the less power it has in your life. That's what I do know. I experienced it recently, not just years ago. Like I just went through a situation like this. So I know once I spoke, it unleashed something. Oh my God. It was probably one of the most rewarding, saddest moments because now, I don't have that to carry on to. And I think for years I kind of used that as, oh, this is going to be my reason to not move forward, my reason to not be happy. Like I don't deserve to be happy. Everyone deserves to be happy and comfortable and safe, you know? Um, and what I aim, it's just, I really want people to find that peace that they deserve. Find what I just was given because I know that there's people that's killing themselves because of these feelings. Because I was that one that was, I literally put a rope and it was about, I actually did, I put it around my neck and everything. I was hanging myself. It is heart-wrenching to go through something like that alone and you don't have anybody that you feel like you can speak to, or you don't feel like you have anybody to speak to. Me, I was embarrassed. Why should I be embarrassed of something that I didn't even do to me? But that's the way that sexual abuse and trauma, that's what it puts on the victim or survivor or perpetrator or whatever. It's always that covering up, the hiding, the sneaking, and it's horrific. And because of that, we grow up and we carry these things in secrets. No, we have to break out of that. That is not the way that we're going to be able to go into the future. No way we're going to survive as a collective in the community with that level of thinking. We have to move forward through it. But I just wanted to, just touch bases on some of the things that I believe that us survivors or people that have been abused or, have these whatever addictions or whatever, I believe that these are the things that I needed. I wish I would have heard. As I go on, we'll get into the percentages and all of these things. But right now, I just wanted to kind of touch base as my first podcast talking about these subjects and this topic or whatever. And I know it's a very controversial thing, but it has to be done. Somebody's got to do it and you got to stand up. There is strength in numbers. Always remember that. When people stand up and speak and they come together, there's strength in that. There's always strength in numbers. 1, 2 is always better than 1. 3 is always better. It's always going to get stronger. So just remember that. Remember, have strength, have courage, and stand up. Stand up for what you know that you deserve. You got to stand up. nobody else can do it but you. It's holding you back. It's creating wedges and miles and miles between the people that you love the most. It's not letting you be your true self. You're not saying what you want or you need, a fear of what your partner is going to think. Well, if they don't accept it, don't be with them. If they can accept, maybe you have a fetish or you have a whatever is going on in your life that you feel like you are afraid to talk about or be yourself, come here and speak about it. This is why people stay in relationships unhappy and they cheat, because they are afraid to be able to tell their wife, oh, I like to wear women's underwear, or I like this, or a woman to say, you know what, I really like, I think about women instead of men, but I want to be with the man because it's what society believes. I mean, you never know. Everybody, the world has issues and we have to address them. So I just want people to come here and really be able to listen to what I'm speaking about and really find it within their self or what they're going through. Because, oh man, there's most of the world's been sexually abused, almost all of it for sure. But we can really get into helping one another and moving forward and being ourselves. Okay? But yeah, so this is my podcast called No Safe Space. And my name is LG Knight. And thank you.